Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today we have a very special guest here in the studios. This is Jason. How's it going, Jason?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Jason joins us from WD, a Western digital company, and he has brought along the tiniest network attached storage drives I've ever seen. Or at least, well, okay. What we're talking about today is this right here. This is a 2.5 inch mechanical hard drive. It's from the WD Red series. And I'll just leave it at that. Jason, how would you what's the high-level description of the WD Reds?
So the great thing about the WD Red portfolio is that we've expanded the NAS portfolio. So we recently, in September, launched the 3.5 inch version of WD Red with 4 terabyte capacity. So now we offer full 1, 2, 3, and 4 terabytes, as well as we introduced the world's first 2.5 inch NAS drive available on a 750 gig, as well as 1 terabyte capacity. And so what that does is it enables a smaller and more compact form factor. So you have a smaller footprint in the NAS environment. And so this enables different types of applications, whether you're wanting to use it for small backups within a small office environment or within your own home, or if you want to just share documents back and forth where you don't need 16 or 20 terabytes worth of data, but instead you need something that's closer to 4 terabytes where it's just a couple movies or mainly backups of your PC. So the 2.5 inch version of Red, the mobile version, has all the same features as the desktop version. So you get the benefits of performance, reliability, power efficiency, as well as 24/7 premium support.
Excellent. So let's jump back and talk about, if you guys are looking at this video, obviously you might see that we have the 3.5 inch version here as well. Jason and I also did a video on that, so if you guys are more interested in this drive specifically, you can check that out. It's on our Newegg TV YouTube channel. The Red drives in general, this is sort of WD coming and answering or bringing a solution to market to a problem that maybe a lot of folks aren't even really aware of. Because when we talk about storage, talk about digital storage, this is something that, as most folks know, it grows over time. The longer you live and you keep taking digital pictures, or you keep shooting videos, or you keep collecting and archiving data, you just have more and more space that you need. So a lot of folks have gone from the typical, I have a desktop computer with a single hard drive in it, to I have multiple hard drives in that computer, to I now have a network attached storage, or even like a small server in my home where all of my data goes to live. That way I can access it remotely or anything like that. But the drives that have been available up until now, unless you're buying premium high quality enterprise level drives, not always best suited for a RAID environment or a network attached storage environment. So how are the WD Red drives kind of more suited towards living in that type of space versus like your typical desktop usage scenario? So
WD Red drives come with NASware 2.0, which is hardware and firmware upgrade. It is optimized completely for the NAS environment. So that includes RAID support, that includes performance and complete scalability within a NAS enclosure. In the 2.5 inch space, you have a much smaller form factor. I'll turn this guy around so you can see. So you're able to get a much smaller footprint. Essentially, you could almost put this thing in your kitchen behind your blender in the corner. I mean, there's so many different opportunities that you can take a small form factor NAS like this and place it within your home or in your small business. And then also, it's small enough that essentially you could take it on the road. I mean, disclaimer of handling it properly within your luggage or in your backpack or whatever. But it's small enough that you can take it with you if you need to share essential documents while you're on the go. Maybe even you guys for video editing when you're traveling.
So you've got the portability factor, definitely a huge plus when it comes to the 2.5 inch drives. Specifically, is power consumption another area that's been improved on with this current generation of Red drives?
So Red drives do have reduced power consumption compared to the competition, and so what that means is that there's less heat involved. The fans will come on less, so there's less noise within the NAS enclosure, but less heat over time is a really, really good thing. That means you're going to increase the lifespan of the drive, and you're going to have better reliability of the drive itself. RED drives also have 3D active balance, which reduces vibration within the enclosure. So within a multi-bay environment, you have a lot of acoustics and vibrations that are emitted within the system, the surrounding environment, as well as the drives themselves. And so 3D active balance plus helps reduce that, again, increasing your performance, your reliability, and your data over time.
So when you got 3, 4, 5 drives spinning up right next to each other, the unit itself isn't going to start to shake or vibrate or anything like that.
That's why it has 3D active balance.
Also helps with the integrity of the data, of course. And then, as you're mentioning, just the fact that these drives, again, are designed for use in a NAS environment. So we got some really nice Synology enclosures here that we've been kind of demoing. This is the 3.5-inch enclosure that we demoed with the 2.5-inch drive, or at least gave you guys a quick look at. When it comes to the 2.5-inch form factor, we've shown this little enclosure right here. This is a 4-bay NAS, if I'm not mistaken, from Synology. What other use case scenarios are you guys sort of foreseeing the 2.5-inch drives being used in that maybe wasn't available with the 3.5-inch?
So it's taking a look at the landscape and seeing the possible enablement of where you can place the drives, where you can use them. It could also be with a DVR expansion potentially. There's that video sharing capability is what you want to focus on with the NAS, and so it's really kind of up to the consumers of where the space is going. And so we've, to that note, we've worked very closely with our NAS partners and with our end consumers, and paying attention to what they're saying and enabling spaces for them. And so some of the feedback that we saw online was driving them into having a smaller footprint NAS enclosure. And so like we did with RED the first time around with the 3.5-inch product, we wanted to be the first to market again with 2.5, and that's why we came out with the 1 terabyte version. And
you mentioned a DVR enclosure. That's actually something I've set up at home. I have a little HTPC. I have a cable card in there, so any of my the cable TV footage that comes in, it's all right now being written to a single 2.5-inch drive in there, and I know that drive is going to die. I know it's going to happen because it's a consumer desktop drive. It's not made for 24/7 usage, and I know that it's just going to wear it out much more quickly than it would with a typical desktop usage scenario. So that's one example. The NAS example obviously is a huge one because when you have drives in something like this, they're constantly on. The NAS enclosure is usually going to be doing some data restructuring, that sort of thing. It moves stuff around. So having those drives constantly on is something that needs to be dealt with, and that is really the technology that's been developed into the RED drive. So I'm going to need to get at least a couple of these, I think, for my DVR box at home. Another use case scenario I could think of is small form factor computers. We've seen micro ATX and mini ITX become much more popular for folks who are building a computer, whether you just need more space or whether you just like that small form factor. And 3.5-inch drives often can't fit in there, or if they can fit in there, there's not much space for them. So with something like this, you could put together a redundant RAID array. You could go with a RAID 1 or a RAID 5 even, with like 3 or 4 of them, set that all up in there, and you're only taking up that much space as opposed to, well, I mean, you can see the kind of side-by-side comparison with the two NAS boxes we have right here. So space, obviously a huge benefit for the 2.5-inch REDs.
And there's less heat involved too.
Definitely. So
less rotating mass, smaller enclosure. It's easier to manage.
So that's gonna help you out with your gaming system, and then you can overclock your graphics card and your CPU more. I guess that's really why you guys designed these, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Amongst other things. So again, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that NAS enclosures, NAS use case scenarios, and also RAID use case scenarios, all drives are not created equally. So you're definitely going to want to have the right drive for the configuration that you're using it in. And if you currently have a NAS or a small server set up in your home and you've repurposed old drives for it, you're not using drives that are made for that 24/7 use case scenario, or drives that are made for RAID configurations that have the proper error recovery features built in, you might be headed towards some problems in the future. So these are a great drop-in solution. And when it comes to actually the purchasing these, folks who want to implement them at home for whatever reason, you could purchase a blank NAS. You could populate it yourself. You guys also work with a lot of network attached storage companies such as Synology right here, that you could also just buy that kind of all already put together with the drives already in it. So that's
completely agree. We have the most extensive, the comprehensive NAS compatibility list. So we work very closely with our end consumers to figure out what they want to do, as well as the OEMs, and
very nice.
Making sure that our drives are most compatible, and also driving some new form factors and capabilities with the product.
Excellent. And then depending on your level of passion when it comes to mechanical storage, I know Jason gets very passionate about mechanical storage, but if you want to, you can join the Redvolution. There we go. We got a slide right there. So this is just a graphic, but if you guys happen to be tweeting about this video or about WD Red drives in general, there you go. Use hashtag Redvolution, and we can start a Twitter campaign.
Completely agree. It's the next generation NAS experience.
Excellent. So this has been a quick overview of the new WD Red series of mechanical drives. Specifically, we're talking about the 2.5-inch ones here, which are available in 750 gig and 1 terabyte capacities. The 3.5-inch drives also available out there, and you can check out our video on that if you want to see a little bit more information. Jason, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to all you guys at home for watching. Of course, if you'd like to see more tech videos, you can find them on our Newegg TV YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you'd like to see more. We'll see you all next time.